Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all checking me out again. As you can see from the thumbnail, this will be an update to my last video regarding the how to get the secret arena weapons. This video, I'll just be clarifying some things and pointing out some little neat tricks I figured out along the way since last video. The first major one I figured out was that the weapons play a much larger part in determining your Wanzer's rate than anything else. For instance, right now, you can see Meilan's rate is 445. If I go to the Wanzer setup and I take off his weapon, now mind you, the Wanzer that Meilan is currently piloting is the Raven Wanzer, which is a in-game Wanzer, which means these are some of the strongest parts you can have. I'm going to just take off his weapon and that's it. And now we're going to see what his rate is with just his Wanzer's parts. He's all the way down to a 160. So you can see the weapon he had in his hand was the covet shotgun that you get from the secret arena shotgun. It didn't even have to be the covet shotgun. It could have been my current strongest shotgun and his rate still would have been over 400. Currently right now with his rate, what it is right now, if I was to add this up with the equation, it'll probably be around, maybe around like the 5th prize tier with just this 160. Which is not that bad, but that's just to give you an idea of when you're trying to min-max and choose which prize tier that you want to get a weapon from, it's a lot easier to just change your weapon instead of trying to change out all the Wanzer's parts, because they don't really play that big of a deal. If you really just needed to, you're just a little bit over or anything like that, just put on like the weakest legs you can find, or put on one of the weakest arms, but make sure you have the max part for one arm and max part for one of your body parts. Another thing I figured out, go ahead and put the weapon back on him, is that you don't have to get all the wins that you need for that weapon tier, for that prize tier, in that prize tier. So for instance, as you can see right here on the screen, the current weapon I'm trying to get is in the 7th prize tier, that 1805 and above. It is in pool 5. It is the grenade launcher, but that's the only one I have not gotten yet. In order to do that with Meilan, as you can see right here on this graph, he has to fight Fred 13 times to get that pool 5 weapon. That's how you compare the charts. Find out what weapon you want, what pool is in, and you figure out what team that the current pilot you're choosing has to face. Go to that pool, and then it'll tell you which pilot you need to face for that pool and how many times you need to face him. The highlighted numbers are team arena wins, and the non-highlighted are solo wins. I focus more on the solo wins because with the team arena win or the remake of Final Fantasy from Mission 2, you can't just beat that person in the arena and then quit the match. You have to win the match. So that means the team arena wins will take a lot longer because you have to kill a lot more people. Whereas with the solos, you just have to kill one person. So at Meilan, I have to face Fred, because I have to face Fred 13 times. I have to beat Fred 13 times in order to get 4 or 5 weapons. Right now, as I was just explaining to you, you don't have to do it all the wins for that prize tier. Currently, Meilan is over. Currently, my Meilan is over like 2,200 or something, right? So that means if he got 13 wins, he will win the Keen Edge instead of the grenade launcher. But I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to do most of the wins at the max prize tier, and I'm just going to get the 13th win in the prize tier that I want to get the weapon from. So my Meilan currently, I believe I'm at 11 wins. So this should be my 12th win if I didn't miscount. If I miscounted, then you're going to see me win the Keen Edge after this match, which means I might have to fight him 13 times. I'll just skip that and won't show you all 13 of those fights again, if that happens though. But let's see. Fred goes. Milan goes. Alright, that should have been my 12th win. See, I didn't win it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weaken him down. I am, instead of trying to do all of that, I'm going to give him a different, really strong Wanzer. The Ayana Wanzer. This is also another secret Wanzer that you can get. Using that trick I just showed you, whereas the parts give you less rating than weapons do. And I'm going to give him this on his shoulder because he needs some weapon, because like I showed you, the Wanzer by itself is only going to give you like 160 rating, and his rating would be a lot higher than that. So now his rating is at 310. So with this 310 rating plus his honor points, it puts him around like 1975, which you can see if you remember from the chart I put up before. 1975 puts him in the 7th prize tier. So now we're going to go fight Fred, for our 13th win, hopefully. Go ahead and do that. Hopefully he doesn't miss a lot. There we go. Ooh, that's the only thing I hate about Melee in this one. It misses an incredible amount. There we go. Paint. Good job. All right. And see, there we go. You see from the chart, I won a grenade launcher instead of Keen Edge, despite me getting most of my wins at the max prize tier. The only win that matters is the win that's going to unlock the weapon. That's the only win that needs to be in the prize tier of that weapon. All the other wins don't matter. I also figured out that you don't need to get all the wins with the same pilot either. It's a total win. It's not like I didn't have to get all those wins with Milan. I could have got some of those wins with another pilot that could also fight Fred. It's just that Fred needs to lose that number of times. So it's just a total number of wins. Doesn't matter who gets the win. And as I said in the last video, it doesn't matter if you lost in between some of those wins. It's just you need to win this many times. That opponent needs to lose that many times. It doesn't matter who made them lose. Just needs to lose that many times. And the final win that would unlock the weapon for that prize tier is the only win that needs to be in that prize tier, like I just did now. All of my fights you've seen me do before were in the max prize tier range. The only fight that wasn't was this one. So I won the weapon for the prize tier that he currently has. I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this particular video. The last thing I figured out too was in the equation that I showed you all before. There was like 5 times the honor points plus 20 plus 5 times the rate minus 10 plus whichever pilot you chose. That plus 20 after the 5 times honor points is not needed, because I found out that when I was doing it, I was forgetting the plus 20, and I was still getting the weapon for that prize tier. I will say you could go ahead and still add the plus 20 though, because if anything, it's just going to guarantee that you're going to be in that prize tier just in case you misadded something. but from my experience, I didn't need to add the plus 20. But I would say just go ahead and add it because it's not going to hurt you. It's just going to guarantee, it's going to give you more of a buffer room to guarantee that you're in the price tier that you want. So appreciate y'all checking me out. I'm glad if you stayed all the way to the end of this video. This was a shorter video because I didn't have a lot to go over this time. I just wanted to clarify some things and give you, and show you some other little tricks I figured out along the way. If this video helped you out, remember to give me a like. Considering subscribing, I will have other videos like this in the future for different games. Again, let me know down below which weapon you're going for. If you have any questions or need any clarification on anything else, just give me a message down below. I do see all my messages and respond to all of them. And have a wonderful day. Deuces.